So we're gonna switch over to the Klefboms fantasy talk. I thought of that we should do a little thing different. I know we always start with trades,
Mm-hmm.
but I thought we kind of never talk about the games the week before, just
Yeah.
how they finished. Kind of like we could talk about how the games finish, the trades that happened, and then I don't know, go from there. Like,
Okay. Cool.
what do we normally do? We kind of talk about how the games are going. We often talk about playoff picture. Playoff picture is pretty much going to
Well,
be figured
there's only a
out.
couple of trades. Let's wrap up the trades first, and then we'll go to the standing slash interesting matchup
Matchups.
slash what we're seeing
Okay.
through the final week and into the playoffs.
Okay. Sounds good to me. So trades.
So the first trade to talk about was the interesting one between Ben and Steve,
Oh,
where Ben in last place all of a sudden decided that he wanted to buy. And apparently it was mostly for keeping Huberdeau. That was apparently where the value was at. But it was Huberdeau, Taylor Hall, and Victor Hedman with a 7, 9, and 13 for Kubalik, Eberly, and Doughty with a 4, 5, and 6.
yeah. So Captain Clutch getting the Huberdeau, being in last place. Taylor Hall and Hedman. So he's like doing a complete buy. Like, to me, this trade makes sense if and only if you're planning to pay attention and win the McDavid sweepstakes. Or
I mean, he didn't give up a whole ton. The third pick he did, but he only gave up 7 rounds in the first two picks, which isn't a lot.
yeah,
But I mean, he can't keep Hedman. He can't keep Hall,
yeah, but he
and
basically
Huberdeau's the keeper.
Huberdeau's yeah. So like, what round is Huberdeau? Isn't he
7.
a 7? So he got a 7 with it. So that's Huberdeau. So let's if you just say you got Huberdeau, you would draft him normally in the 4th round. So the 4 for Huberdeau makes sense. And then he really just gives up a 5 and 6 to have a chance to move from 4 to 1. Because
In every round
yeah,
for the picks he owns.
that's pretty friggin'
You got to remember, everyone's picks are fucking moved all over the place now. Like literally, everyone owns. When I was looking at making some offers, everyone owns. Well, for the most part, everyone owns like everyone else's picks. So everyone's already all over in the rounds. It's not like it's just like a couple trades here and there where you're
yeah.
getting like I know I have 3 or 4 of Ben's picks, so like he's winning those rounds for me. But
Yeah, I hope he has the team. We'll get to that after. Let's
yeah,
go to the next trade. So this I guess
this
these
is
were
the one that caught you off guard that you were.
yeah, this trade caught me off guard. This was the day before the trade deadline. We had no action on the trade deadline.
None. I was shocked.
I was shocked too. I was trying to
I was
get something
watching
done.
my email because I was like, I gotta watch it, and then I fell asleep. And as soon as I woke up this morning, I had a slight panic because I was like, oh shit, what if somebody came up with a last minute trade or something? And then my first thought was,
You could have
I'll
fixed
still
it,
process it.
Yeah,
I was like,
exactly.
as commish, I would manually process the trade because I fell asleep. Like if the email was before midnight,
Yeah,
I would have manually processed
of
it.
course, yeah.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
think no one should have
I
issue
don't.
with that. And if you did,
Yeah,
you're a fucking idiot.
nobody in the pool is remaining that's an idiot, so I'm not worried about that.
Yeah. So, Rocket Trees rolls up in here, trades John Gibson a 9. So basically, he trades a 9th and a 10th for Varlamov, a 12 and a 13. Caught me off surprise because I considered that I didn't know he would. I wasn't sure that he realized that Gibson really wasn't that good.
Mm,
And but he's hit the ground running and really caught up to where the value is, and he's trimmed the fat on his team
yep,
somewhat nicely going into the playoffs.
yep.
So
He's arguably the 5th best team without getting into any kind of depth of evaluation,
yeah, exactly.
which is a lot to say when.
He's improved his club for this year by far.
Mhm.
Varlamov, I don't know if would have paid that much for Varlamov
Not a
myself.
whole lot.
Yeah, 6
Only
rounds.
5 rounds. 6
rounds.
rounds, yeah.
Yeah.
6 rounds, yeah.
I know Steve has been shopping Varley for a while,
Yeah.
so it's good to see him finally get something for him.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean,
I'm
I
work.
shouldn't sit
I
here
would.
and bash anybody, but
I don't want. Yeah, I'm just trying to give my take on the trades and
yeah.
So
I just feel like Steve, if I'm being completely honest, Steve had the balls out from the beginning with his strategy, and he was happy with it, and he was not I don't want to say cocky with it, but cocky in the right way, and like his whole team name and everything was based about that, and it made his team unique, and that's what made his team tough to beat when you rolled around playing him, and dangerous. And then when it came down to doubling down on it, I think the worst thing that happened for him was when he stumbled upon Varlamov and Merzlikins, who outperformed his other two guys and made him devalue them subconsciously. I think he should have traded Merzlikins at the time for something.
Anything.
Traded Varlamov earlier for something and kept Bobrovsky and Vasilevsky. And then, but just if I was him, I would have traded those other two guys. I would have benched Bobrovsky and just not played him, and just unfortunately rode him, hoping he would turn it on, and then spot start goalies and go Vasilevsky with spot starts.
Yeah.
Because it would have been hilarious, 2 goalies, 1 starter, because then Bobrovsky would have not been starting.
Yeah, he would have fulfilled his destiny, right?
Exactly.
He picked the 2 goalies. He knew one of them was a starter.
I honestly feel like he would have probably taken a spot from Jesse or Jamie. Had he
I was a little shocked that he
didn't.
Yeah, like the last week he was selling that when he still had a chance to beat Jesse and get in. So I was a little confused with that. But
I think at the point he decided to trade off, he's just like, I'm going to trade as much as I can to get whatever picks I can get back.
Yeah, maybe he just accepted that he wouldn't, if he did get in, he wouldn't get past the first round.
And that could be
if that's the case, then I guess he makes the right move because he got quite a few assets.
You're really just putting your bet on your money now on hold for next year where it's worth more.
Yeah, that's parlaying it up,
Yeah, exactly. You're parlaying it, which some people don't want to do or aren't in a situation to do. And it sucks, actually. It looks like I might have lost Liney tonight. He blocked a shot, and it looks very similar to Morgan Riley's, which...
Oh, no.
I could have maybe just lost Liney for the playoffs. Which,
I have a similar situation with Stamkos right now. I'm not really sure what's going on with him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He's hurt?
Yeah, he missed tonight. And the game before.
That's not
Since
good.
the Leafs game, yeah.
Really? What I was going to say is, so you know how I've been keeping track of all the draft picks and the values and whatnot?
Yep.
So at one point, Steve was worse than I was in terms of negatives. Right now I'm at negative 18, so I've given up 18 rounds to go for it this year. Nick's given up 45 rounds.
Yeah.
45 rounds.
That's a lot of rounds.
But Steve was in the high 20s, low 30s. I forget the number, but now he's gone all the way back to plus 12.
Wow.
So he went from minus, let's call it 28, minus 26, minus 28 to plus 12. So he swung plus 30 in the last few weeks. So, like, good on him for...
Yeah, he
decided to bail, and he accomplished what he needed to do if he decided to bail.
Yeah, he definitely dissected his team quite well and efficiently.
I wouldn't have done it that way, but I can't say it was a poor decision. I just felt like he had an opportunity to take advantage of something, but it's fair if you don't think it's going to work to bail out. And if he bailed out and didn't get the picks afterwards, it would have been like, you're an idiot. But to bail out, get the picks back and whatever, then, it's your team. Dude, you're putting yourself in a situation where you think you're in a better situation. So it's not on me to judge. I just wouldn't have necessarily made the same decisions, I don't think. But it's easy for me to say that now. But with those picks things, so the only people so I have it in 3 colors. Red is obviously people who have given up a ton of picks. Green, people who have gained a ton of picks. And then orange, just kind of plus minus the same in the middle. So Nick and I are the only in the red. Again, Nick's minus 45 rounds. I'm
Yeah.
gonna do this again with actual picks at the end
Yeah.
of it to see. It would be hilarious. I'm minus 18. Sean is minus 4. Jesse's minus 6. Jamie's actually equal overall. You are plus 1.
After that
So
last trade.
that last trade, you've gained yourself to plus 1. And believe it or not, after that trade, Ben is actually minus 3 now.
What?
So all things said and done, last place is still minus 3.
Down rounds of picks.
Yeah.
How does that make any sense? How did that even happen?
Because because he has all the picks at the end of the round. So
Okay.
he's got 2 in the first, and then 1 in the second, 2 in the third, 1 in the fifth, 1 in the seventh, 1 in the ninth, and then he's got 2 12s, 3 13s, and 1 14.
Okay.
So if he didn't have as many at the back end of the draft, that would be a lot higher of a number.
Yeah.
Probably would be like 12 or 15.
Okay.
That being said, Steve is the next best at plus 12. Then Joey at plus 23. And the most significant upgraded team is Dylan at plus 40. So he is
His
Nick
team's
is minus 45, Dylan's plus 40.
damn. So
So
he
he's
should
85
essentially be able to
rounds
draft
different than
a team as good as Nick's next year right off the bat.
Essentially, yes. Or again, if you want to look at the other way, Nick is 85 rounds disadvantage of a handicap into the draft of next year.
Against him. Yeah, jeez.
If he were to somehow beat him or get in the playoffs or whatever, he could say that he had an 85 round handicap. So it'll be interesting to see, tracking over the years, who breaks the biggest handicap,
Yeah.
or who succumbs to the biggest handicap, or whatever. So
Yeah, who like has the biggest lead and then doesn't even make the playoffs.
yeah, and it'll be interesting because next year there's going to be 2 or 3 teams who draft well or who should. The pressure is on them to draft well. If they do not draft well, or they don't pay attention, or they have bad injuries or whatever, with Nick and I, who you know are going to be paying attention, this probably goes for you too.
Oh, yeah, definitely, dude. I
Where we
spend
have a little picks
hours
later,
on this
like,
a day.
yeah, like we're going to be the ones
that can make up handicaps.
with activity, yeah, like and the guys at the start of the year that are available, like we're gonna be scooping them up. But yeah, it should be interesting.
It'll be fun. Second year is gonna be fun because we're also like, well, you guys aren't because you don't have round 1 drafting our potentially long-standing keeper.
Mm-hmm. My goal is this lasts at least 5 or 6 years. I hope it lasts longer,
10,
but
20,
if
man.
it lasts 5-6 years, I'll be happy to walk away from it at that point. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, this thing's going down. We're gonna be playing this when we're 50.
I hope so.
That's the
I
plan.
hope so.
It's a good group
Imagine if it did last longer and longer, I would consider adding more things to it, like say adding another keeper or
another player. Yeah.
Have you ever heard of a dynasty league?
Yep, definitely.
I don't know if I'd want to go that far, but
I'd
it'd be
want to
interesting.
do it only if you need people that are actually like committed.
Yeah, and when you get into the whole prospect things and stuff, that's where I'd get a
So,
huge
yeah.
advantage.
And I would be dead in the water. Do you want to talk
Yeah.
about this last trade, or is it just
Yeah,
irrelevant?
let's do it.
So I ship off Carter Hart for Rene, who I just dropped, just to upgrade 2 rounds.
How did this come about?
I was trying to realistically, Kemper's coming back, so I needed to make room for him. I tried really, really hard to ship him to Joey, but Joey just didn't, and I don't know why he wouldn't do it because he needs to do it.
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing with the goaltender. I sent him a text reminder just saying, "Hey, just a reminder
I did too.
that you have that consolation is for the draft picks. Like you don't
Oh no, I didn't
wanna
even
just
send him that. I
bottom
said,
out."
dude,
And then I also said the trade deadline's today.
I said that to him, but I also said, dude, you need a goalie, like, or you're not gonna
Yeah.
get your minimum starts. Like,
Or put Mrazek at least on IR plus and add yourself a flex guy.
Yeah, like he got a shutout on his one goalie already this week.
Yeah,
But
and then
anyway,
he's gonna throw it
I was
away.
trying
But
to
yeah,
trade to Joey because I don't want to trade to a playoff team. Like
yeah.
that's the last thing I want to do. But I also want to get an asset for having three decent goalies. I could have rode all three, I guess. That could have been a strategy.
Mm-hmm.
But so my next thing I did was I looked at the playoff schedule for all three of the goalies I had,
Mm-hmm.
and I felt that Carter Hart by far had the hardest one.
Yeah.
So that's why I chose him to go.
Fair enough. The reason I asked though is, and I was more curious to see what kind of negotiation or what kind of conversation or like how long the process took.
It did not take long. So
I didn't think
I was
so.
sending it to Joey, right? I sent out a couple different things to Joey on message. He answered me, and then he just stopped answering me. So
That's usually what happens.
yeah. So I sent a similar message to Rundle, and then proposed a trade. He never answered me. He just accepted it.
Okay.
So like I'm a little worried that I could have gotten more, I guess, but
Maybe.
I'm not so worried because really he was gonna be the only buyer.
What round was Hart taken in, do you know?
Eighth.
Yeah, it's not really a keeper.
No, I thought about keeping him at one point in the season. I just have a lot of guys I consider.
He's
to
been
be
playing
keepers.
really well lately since he
He
came back.
has. I actually placed a
Wow.
wager on Philly to win their division today at 9-1. So just a small one, like $10.
Yeah.
It's just so I could. I don't know. I think they have a chance. I love Carter Hart. I would have let. He, like you said, he's been performing very well. But if I just looked ahead at his playoff schedule next week, he has Rangers, Capitals, Hurricanes, and then the following where he has Capitals, Lightning, and one other team that I didn't like.
Which is tough, yeah.
Whereas
The only
Fred
reason I
Sue would
asked that, yeah, the reason I asked that is just because I've been bugging Jamie all year just about like, what are you doing with your goaltending? Like,
yeah.
do you realize that that's what's holding you back from essentially being third or fourth instead of fifth or sixth or seventh?
Mm-hmm.
And he's just like, it's unpredictable. I'm not going to spend on goaltending.
He didn't really spend. Like, I think I gave him an
No, it's
offer he
not
couldn't
really.
really refuse. You know, like if he refused that, he fucked up.
Yeah, I felt that. I don't know. I guess it just caught me off guard. I didn't. He was one of the last ones I expected to pull a trade off for a goalie. So when I saw the goalie for goalie swap,
Yeah.
I mean, I knew you were going to drop Rennie, so I didn't really look at it that way. I knew it was the pick really in him getting Hart. That was really what the trade was.
Yeah.
So I was just kind of shocked to see Jamie play that card more than anything, I
Well,
guess.
one thing that went into it too, like if I felt, all right, I'm pulling up the standings right now. So I'm looking at the standings, and I'm like, okay, I'm expecting Rocket Trees to fucking win this week. Like if he loses, my whole plan is kind of like up in jeopardy.
Yeah.
But come on, don't lose the last place. That's all I'm asking.
Hey, Ben won last week.
I know, and he's beaten me before, so I can't really say. But the way I saw it is, okay, I'm making Reynolds' team a lot stronger, but he should finish sixth. And if he finishes sixth, I won't play him unless it's the finals, in which case I'm already fucking stoked.
Yeah.
So that's the way I looked at it. But if somehow I end up playing him in the first round now and I lose because Hart like just crushes me, the trade's going to look like it's going to go into the awards at the end of the season for worst trade of the year.
Yeah.
So
Well, we'll have a good recap
risky.
show to check that out. Do you want to? Where do you want to go next? Just breaking down the consolation or playoff appearances, or do you want to look at the importance of the weeks or something that's popped up in the weekly matchups over the last week or so?
Yeah, I think let's just kind of look at where we see the things going, like with the consolation, because all the playoffs, everyone's clinched.
Yeah.
So like this is the last week of the season. I think every one of these games has some sort of impact on the way the season's gonna finish.
Mm-hmm.
So like maybe let's talk about the games that are going on right now, and then
Okay.
when we do it like next week, we can see how the games ended, and you know what I mean, like check in on our
Like what we were kind of talking
yeah,
about.
like just keep this
But
kind of keep it more of like a storyline of how the league's been going, you know.
okay, I think the first thing we need to look at is the first two teams going at it.
Yep,
We
let's do
got
that.
Beer Buds and Dynasty.
Versus
So
Dynasty.
Sean and Nick. What are we doing anymore? Are we doing team names or just
Let's just
manager
call.
names?
We can just call them manager names if you want.
Yeah, in case they change
Yeah.
their team name. But yeah, so Sean versus Nick, and it's interesting that Sean really hasn't had to do much to walk through the league this year.
Yes,
And
he's gotten kind of. He drafted well, I guess.
I guess so. I mean, what's his team even? I haven't looked at it that much.
Well, he's had Pasternak, who's had an amazing year.
And
Nylander's had a
Nylander,
pretty good year for where he drafted him. Panarin's had a monster year. Bergeron's been solid. He has Crosby. Like his team's solid. Like there's not really a weak spot in his lineup, and he's got the right. Like he.
Hellebuck too.
Yeah, Hellebuck's had a great year.
And well, part of it's because of the flexing the goalie.
Yeah, he's been running one goalie most of the season. Yeah, and flexing.
That what with him showing that kind of success, or me seeing that success that he's had based on that strategy, is one of the main reasons why I switched mine from Malkin to trying to get that second for Vasilevsky.
Yeah.
Because I could see that, like, yes, his team is better, but if I have the same strategy and I'm a bottom team, I think that takes me up to maybe 7th from a bottom team. You know what I mean? As opposed to Malkin, even if Malkin has a MVP season, he's only one of X amount of players, right?
Mm-hmm. So does Nick... If Nick wins, because he's 2 points back now after losing last week, he might still not win. So originally, this was like on path to be the President's Trophy like match.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah, but with my upset of Nick last week, it kind of put him in a spot where he has to win, and he still might not win. I don't know how the tiebreak's going to play out, but
yeah, it's going to be. Well, do you have a calculator there?
No.
Oh, okay. I have one on my computer, but I don't have the keys necessarily accessible for me to do.
It doesn't matter too much. It looks like he's getting his ass handed to him right now, so he's in a world of trouble.
I can do it this way. So Beer Buds is +1, +4. +5, +6. +12, -8 to 4. But Beer Buds is +4. And then +6, +8, +12. Yeah, so Beer Buds has the tiebreak.
Yeah. Okay.
So unless Nick wins big, but he's down 9-3 right now.
Yeah, he's not. His goalies are too far behind.
Yeah, that's the thing is, I don't like Nick's chances right now. I don't like his goalies. I think that's what's going to ruin him again. I just say that because like Rask is wicked, but like Price Rask combo, that's what made me scared when I had Binnington, Freddie. I moved off Freddie at the perfect time.
Yes, you did. You never would have got him sold now.
I'd be dropping him now. Like, he'd be worth nothing right now, basically. Yeah. And I flipped him into potentially the guy I'm going to keep for 3 years.
So I think this one matchup's somewhat interesting in that Joey against Beefy, they're pretty much on collision course right now to play each other in the first round of the Constellation. Yep. So it's a little bit of a preview of that. Joey, unless he like adds a goal, he's going to lose.
Yeah.
I don't know. I hope he adds.
Dylan needs to get his goalies figured out.
Yeah. But if Joey wins,
in his fairness, he can wait till week 1 and just do it.
If Joey wins this match and Steve loses, to me, then Joey would, I think, come 7th and play and he would be in a better.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so that would change. I guess that's the only impact from that game. There's potential for a little bit of a shuffle on who plays who in the consolation match.
Yeah. I think that Joey and Dylan are going to be the winners of the finals in the sense of like they're going to win their matchups.
Unless they play each other, which is the case right now.
Yeah, I did think that the way it was going to turn out was because I thought Dylan was going to take down Joey this week because of the goalie thing.
Yeah.
And the fact that he didn't respond to me, and like we're now getting to Thursday and he's going to have to use a couple ads. Like he's only got one night left of what's the word I'm looking for? Like
streamer goalies.
Yeah, like if he doesn't do anything tonight, then he's going to add. He's got to hope that who's his goalie? Fleury.
Fleury.
So what happens if Leonard plays on Saturday or Sunday whenever they play? So he doesn't get that start, and then now you're left adding two guys for 3 starts on Saturday, Sunday. Like
yeah, and I don't have my faith that he's gonna be able to pull it off.
I don't think he's paying attention or something.
Yeah, exactly. I think he's out of the playoffs. He might be not paying attention.
That's why I sent him the reminder, just because some people might be like, well, now I just want to tank, right? I want to drop as fast as possible.
Yeah.
And he might think, hey, if I don't dress my goalies, I'll lose, and then I'll drop.
Yeah, like the consolation. I like the idea of the consolation bracket because that could make a huge difference. Yeah, it's so good.
You have to. It keeps the integrity in it.
No, it's good. Other teams that are going to be in the consolation bracket, you got Captain Clutch playing the Rocket Trees. So I guess this is the match I was talking about. How Jesse, I expected him to. He needed to roll over on this one, so that he would finish 5th. And I would play him in the first round, but right now it's not looking good.
Problem is Ben doesn't have depth of scoring, so like he never wins scoring, so it's all dependent on the goalies.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Jesse should be able to pull this off. He needs to start doing something though. He needs to make a run at saves. He needs to make a run at wins. Like,
yeah.
He needs to be doing something.
He needs to spot start a couple really good.
But like at the end of the day,
goalies.
He might not care because he might not care who he plays first round.
It might not matter to him.
Yeah, it's either me or you, and like he might rather play one team than the other. I don't know what his strategy is going to be. So I guess me relying on him to win. Who knows? He could have tanked on purpose for all.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting that I thought this week was going to be intense based on different things, but it's rather pedestrian because everybody's clinched and it's not about life or death anymore. It's just about
who you're matching up with.
Yeah, who you're going to dance with. But I mean, that being said,
is there have you done the math on if I win and somehow you lost? I don't now
that tie break.
Yeah, I
haven't, but I can look at it real quick.
I had it on you earlier in the season, but I don't know.
So that'd be so you're +4.
You're in a pretty good shape though right now. It looks like you're right with Lone day to day.
3, 4, 5, 6. +3, +2. I'm +2 before we go to goaltenders.
Bennington had a comeback win for you today.
Nice. I saw him down 2-1.
He was down 2-0 at one point.
+5, 7.
Another thing I've had to do this week is I'm playing against Steve on 3 ads. I have 1 ad left.
You got tiebreak, yeah.
I do?
Yeah. As of right now, I think you're +4 on the tiebreak.
Okay, so I thought that might beat you
before. Which right now would be interesting because I have +4 on you. But then it would be +4, and then we'd look at the lose, and I've lost only 2. You've lost 5 this week, which means if things ended right now, we'd have first tiebreak tie, and based on second tiebreak so most wins is the first tiebreak.
Yeah, but if you win, you win. Like I can't.
Well, yeah, I know. Yeah. But yeah.
Okay, cool.
I think I got third.
I think you got third too, and I think I don't know. I think I guess if you beat Rundles, the tiebreak should. If you beat him as bad as that, Rocket Trees would hold the tiebreak, and I'll play him.
I think so. Yeah, I think we're in line for me to play Jamie back to back, and you to play.
And then you could play Nick
Jesse.
in the semis.
I could, which would be stressful as fuck.
The semis are going to be stressful either way.
Here's the thing that I didn't really put into perspective and like take note of. Like, the waivers are going to be insane over the next
yeah, let's
couple
do
weeks.
that. That was on my list. You want to look at the waiver wire right now?
Yeah, like
Let's do it.
it's going to be intense because when people get eliminated, they get locked.
But people don't get eliminated for a while.
Not until after the first round. So the first round, the top two will have buys, and then everyone else will be playing.
Yeah.
Then the next round will have the consolation final, and the second round, the playoffs.
Yeah.
The third round, any of the teams that have been eliminated there will be locked.
Yeah.
So it's only for those first two rounds that the waivers will be a thing.
Yeah. And I'm gonna say there's gonna be at least one team or maybe two that don't do all 7 ads.
Yeah, but chances are we're looking at 4 or 5 ads at least for times 6 teams, probably over the course of the week. So every night
we're gonna have
6 guys on waivers.
30 to 40 ads that week.
Yeah. So like you're gonna look at the league page and it's just gonna be.
So I'll look at the last 30 days. Yeah, it's right now. There's only one on the main page, but it's gonna be. Yeah, you're not. Maybe it'd be hard to do 7 ads and get like actual valuable players.
That's the thing is you might be like, fuck, do I go for a guy that plays on the second power play, or do I go for a guy that I know is going to get 5 hits?
That's also going to be a harder time for Beer, but I guess he got a first round bye, so he doesn't have to deal with it in the first round.
Exactly.
But for streaming goalies will be tougher too, right?
Mm-hmm. And that's what I realized a couple weeks ago, where it's like, for him specifically, in the playoffs, if we want to be dicks to him too, and we also stream goalies, he's fucked. Because if we pick up a guy strategically on, let's say, Tuesday or Wednesday, and start him that night and drop him, so he doesn't start, you can't get him on a Saturday.
Yeah.
You can only pick him up on a Sunday. Yeah. He's going to have to save like 2 ads for Sundays on goalies. What happens if somebody is sick or somebody, whatever, gets in a car accident?
It's risky,
right? And then now all of a sudden in the playoffs, you don't meet minimum. Imagine.
Yeah, I don't think it'll
how
come
rattled would you be come Sunday?
Yeah,
your goalie you added got in a car accident and he's not starting. Like,
yeah. So you gotta plan ahead. Playoffs are gonna be intense. I'm so stoked.
It's gonna be nuts.
I know when we go to do this pod next week, it's gonna be midweek in the playoffs. But we're gonna have to talk it to where we are at, because we're gonna want to just dive right into what's going on. But we got to tell the story of how the league.
As far as I'm concerned, which is also why I changed my avatar back to my traditional goalie. So that photo.
When did you do that?
A while ago.
Oh, okay.
But that photo that I use is actually a photo I took off of a painting that was in my house growing up.
Oh, okay.
So like I grew up looking at that painting. So like it's one of my favorite like hockey things, and you know how I'm like a goalie guy, whatever, right? Yeah. So like that's one of my favorite things, and I have always traditionally tried to build my team on goaltending. I feel in my heart that I have the best goaltending out of anybody in the playoffs. I'm going to say that, and I'm going to get fucked, especially with Vasilevsky getting ruined the last couple of games.
No,
I haven't looked at their schedule, so I don't know that either. But like, I have 2 of the goalies who on any given night can put up a good performance on arguably 2 of the top 5 teams who on any night have the best winning potential. That's the way that I look at it.
I'll give it to you.
Will it be in practice? Who the fuck knows? But that whole potential bar that I always talk about, or like the highest potential output. Like if I compare it to Nick, Rask could kick my ass. If I was Nick, I would be more afraid of Nick. I hope he doesn't watch this and do this, but I would be more afraid of Nick if he dropped price and did a beer strategy with Rask, in the sense of went Rask with 2 or 3 flyers. I'd be more afraid of that than Rask and Price, unless he's only going to strategically pick like one start from Price,
Yeah.
and then maybe spot start another benefit back to back.
The good benefit of Price is every once in a while he gets a shutout.
Yes, but he also can then get rocked the next game. So if you get chasing that, you'll bench a shutout one night and then
for sure.
That's where I like to be with my goalies. Is I like to have a certain comfort where I can just press start all for the week and not have to pull them out of certain games because I'm like, they're going to lose that game. Yeah. Like my both goalies on almost any night, I feel confident being like they have a chance to win.
Yeah. If I went with your strategy, then I would have traded Kemper instead of Hart, because I feel like Hart has a better chance to win on any given night.
Yes, but I think Kemper in the past little bit. I mean, Hart's stats looked really nice there, but I think you're probably going to get more saves out of Kemper. So like,
save percentage.
If you were, you're probably going to get better save percentage and saves, and maybe better goals against. All things considered, if they play 2.5 games and neither of them get a win, the better goalie is Kemper. So I mean, I don't think it's necessarily a bad decision you made. Like, yes, winning percentage, sure.
The reason I didn't ship Francouz is the first week of the playoffs, he plays Detroit and some other scrubby team, so it's just like it should be. And he plays 4 games that week, so he's probably gonna get 3 if I need him.
Yeah, but
I know you don't believe in the Francouz monster, so if I win this championship, I always buy an MVP jersey of the MVP of my team. So
do you?
It might be a Francouz jersey. You never know.
That would be hilarious.
Yeah, if I win a league, I buy a jersey. It's like the trophy.
That's hilarious. Yeah. That's amazing. I like that. I would have to, knowing me, if I were to adopt that strategy, I would probably be having to go out and buy a fucking Tkachuk jersey.
Pretty Tkachuk.
Yeah, which I wouldn't hate. I would just hate the fact it's a Senators jersey.
It all comes down to the playoffs, because in the playoffs there's always one player that wins it for you.
Yep,
right?
And Tkachuk could be it with his hits and his shots.
Yep. He
goes crazy for a couple games. But he could also fucking go and do something stupid and get kicked out of a game and get me nothing. That's the only thing that
I just really hope Stamkos is back by next week. Jeez, I need him to have a chance.
Go figure. My dad's a Habs fan. My uncle's a Sens fan.
Yeah, they got it all going on.
Actually, I mean, my dad doesn't. I say he's a Habs fan because it's fun to say that.
Yeah.
But like, he's not really.
Okay.
Like, when he enjoyed to sit down and watch like his team, like growing up, his team when he would watch it was the Montreal Canadiens. But then like after it's weird actually. He kind of had a goalie thing too. He used to actually make his own masks.
Yeah,
he used to make masks of his favorite goalies and whatever, which is pretty cool. But yeah, probably about like when I was 10 or so, my dad just kind of started going to a lot of like the local junior A games and like OHL games, AHL games, whatever. And like now he just wants to watch a good hockey game. He could care less on who the teams are, and he has no affiliation. But
I have affiliation, but not like any normal fan. Like I have my teams I root for, but I would much rather watch a good hockey game than my team on most nights.
My dad will like poke at me occasionally when like the Habs beat the Leafs or something. But like he doesn't own a jersey. Like he owns a jersey, but he owns 2 Montreal jerseys. They're both signed and framed.
Yeah.
So like it's not like he wears one. He doesn't sit down. Like he'll sit down and watch the Habs games like when he's just hanging out at home. But if it's a bad game, he'll just change the channel, and he doesn't care.
Were you ever into like hockey cards, like trading cards?
Yes, but they're mostly my dad's collection.
Oh, he still has them?
Yes, he has a ridiculous amount of them. I want to go through them all eventually and sort them by team.
Yeah. No, like...
But he doesn't want me to.
Why? He doesn't want you touching them?
They're all in, those old school
Have
white
they been
boxes.
graded? Yeah.
I don't know.
You honestly, trading cards right now are like hitting like a spike in value.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know. It's like the guys that used to collect them, like your dad, for instance.
Yeah.
So like, people our age are starting to have kids, and they're starting to show them cards and like starting to collect them and do all that over again. So there's been a huge spike in value, especially basketball cards.
Interesting.
Yeah, I've just started. Like, I always enjoyed hockey cards. My one friend had a pretty sick collection, but I never did it myself. So I've been kind of checking out, looking at, doing some research.
I would say my dad probably has like a couple thousand cards. Like,
yeah, I'm sure he would have some of value
baseball,
then.
yeah, hockey. Like, I'm sure there are ones of a lot of value in there.
Yeah.
And like, there will be a day where I go through them and
that's cool.
like pick out the valuable ones and put them in like a special binder or whatever. But the problem is when you put them in the binder or whatever, now they're exposed to the environment, right? So now it can affect
you got to get them into those like sealed. If it's like, just look up its like if it has value, and then you can get it graded and then sealed. Doesn't cost too much.
Yeah, and like that would be something that I would do with like the big ones, but like in terms of just like the average ones that aren't really worth much, you just want to look at them.
Yeah,
I want to
just
do have like
go through them all.
Yeah, I want to have like a 8-inch binder or have like 4 separate binders and do one for like, let's say the Central, and then have like the Central teams, and then including like their original teams. So like Carolina would also be Hartford.
Yeah.
They'd be 2 separate teams, but they'd both be in the same division or whatever. Because I don't think you could get like an 8-inch binder where you could fit like thousands of cards. So you'd have to divide it up in something, and I wouldn't necessarily want to do alphabetical. Maybe that would be the way to go, but I feel like probably
the team
division.
Idea. You either go teams or year. I would think.
Yeah. And I think it would be neat to go with the teams and then do the alphabetical order through the team. So be like, Dino Cicerelli played for St. Louis. Go to St. Louis, Cicerelli. Okay, there it is.
Yeah.
Like, I think it would be really neat to go and get, like, I actually bought like 1,000 of those card sheets that you put in the binder, the clear ones.
Oh, I know, yeah.
And then I did a few, and then I showed him, and he's like, "Can you please not?" And I was like, "Oh,
really?
Okay, I'll take." Yeah, he didn't want me to, so I didn't really ask. They're his cards.
Yeah, for sure.
I put them back, and I kept the protective sleeve things, and I have a couple binders sitting there,
waiting for the day.
Maybe one day I'll do it, or like maybe one day I'll sit down with him and pick out the good ones and keep those safe somewhere, and then have at the other ones or whatever. Like, I'm sure there'll be a day where that happens, but it's just not that important right now.
For sure.
Oh, is there an update for Liney?
There's day to day.
Damn it. I really hope I don't lose him.
Yeah, I can't even trade anymore.
Whatever.
It's whatever. It's in the God's hands now.
I had a couple trades that I was looking at, but I was like, do I really think these people are upgrades? And then Larkin got dropped, and I'm like, well, that's a high shot on goal guy.
But I tried fairly hard to get Scheifele from Joey.
Who?
Mark Scheifele.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I tried fairly hard. I've been trying for a couple weeks, and then I gave him an all-ditch effort at the end there.
Yeah.
I think I was trying too hard to get some stuff back.
Yeah. Well, see, like,
I really would have had to. I didn't want to sell too much to get him.
Yeah. Well, like, I don't like to double up guys on the same team, right?
No,
so I looked briefly at that and Scheifele, and I was like, well, I have Liney, so why would I go pay for Scheifele?
Different lines, come on.
I would take Scheifele and deal with the 2 guys on the same team, but I wouldn't go out and like pay. Like,
yeah, like I wasn't. I was offering him like 8 or 9 rounds for him.
Yeah,
but like I was giving him a second and like others. There's 3 draft picks involved.
Yeah, if I was trying to go for there, I probably would have been like, here's Larkin and a 6 for a 10. That's probably like the best I would have offered for something like that. But the thing that makes me look back and kind of regret was when Nick swooped in and got Ovi, because I didn't even because at the time I had Kuznetsov. I was like, I don't want Kuznetsov and Ovi. Not even that I didn't put an offer in. I didn't even put consideration to adding him. Yeah. I was like, I got Kuz, I'm good. That was the end of the conversation. And then I ended up moving Kuz, and now I'm like, damn, he already got moved.
I still can't believe you guys made those trades so early in the season.
And it didn't really work out.
That's because you guys made it so early in the season. You revealed a lot of your hand so early.
What's that, sorry?
You revealed, like, your hand of what you were going to do early because you didn't have picks to deal with as much.
But if we waited until the deadline and something like Jesse happens or whatever, and Jesse comes in and takes one of those trades off of us, or somebody else maybe isn't selling the same, like, it's like right now, if Dylan hadn't sold off and he only had 1 or 2 extra wins, he probably wouldn't sell off because he's like, well, fuck it, I've gone this far, now I might as well just win consolation. So like it would have made a lot of decisions change, right? So like just because you can get a yes now, you might never get that yes.
And you axe them out of the playoff race, so
that too, right? So you're weakening your competition and you're strengthening yourself. So it's almost like you're accomplishing two things with two birds with one stone. So and that's why a couple times I went at Steve, because I was like, I know I'm going to be competing with this guy and probably playing him in the first round of the playoffs as a higher lower seed. So when I was able to make some trades with them, I was like, well, they're good trades, but they're making me better and him weaker. So it's not just making me better; it's spreading the gap both ways. So
yeah, well, that's why we gotta bolster Rundle, and hopefully he finishes 6th, so he can. I need him to finish 6th.
So what do you think it's going to be? You think you're going to be Jesse first round?
Yeah, I think it's pretty much what it is.
Yeah,
it's going to take some crazy upset to happen. Basically, it's going to be you versus Rundle, me versus Jesse. That's how I see it. And I see a beefy Joey, and like I don't really see the standings changing. The only thing possibly change would be I don't see them changing.
Yeah, I kind of see them locked in where they're at too. Even the top one, I think Sean's won the league.
Yeah,
a regular season, anyways. He's won the President's Trophy.
Anything can happen once the playoffs get here.
But hey, if you get $100, if I'm him, I get $100 in my pocket. Anything else is gravy.
That's true.
Especially for him, not having to trade off. Yeah. Anything else is gravy for him at this point.
Yeah, he's in good shape.
Yeah. So then what would that leave us? That would mean, you think I could take Rundle down?
I hope so. You're whooping him this week.
You think that you're going to take Jesse down?
Yes. He's going down. No chance.
That'd be hilarious if you guys are in the first round. The only thing I'm I'm not worried about necessarily with Jamie, because even if McDavid goes off, chances are that Draisaitl will be
going off with him,
counterbalancing that. Yeah,
you're right.
And then the only thing that he has on me is Carlson in Washington. So if they go off on the power play for a week, that could kind of hurt me a little bit. Yeah,
you have a better team to take on Jamie than me, but I still think I could take Jamie's team out.
Yeah, I don't think Jamie's team is of the caliber of the rest of them in the playoffs.
We'll see, though.
But anything can happen.
There's going to be an upset, whether it's in the consolation bracket, the main bracket.
So do you think that? So if nothing changes, who wins between Clutch and Steve and Ben? Who wins?
I'm going to call Ben.
As
long as Ben does something. As long as Ben doesn't just not do anything.
Yeah, which he might.
I'm going to coach him through it.
Yeah, do it. Especially after making that trade, he's got to make it worth it now.
I have one of his draft picks. I need him to do better.
I know. I need him to do well, too. I got some picks, too. But, so I think Ben will take him down. And who do you think wins between Joey and Dylan?
I'm going to give it to... I just don't see Joey doing what's necessary to win. So I'm giving it to Beefy.
I think Dylan is the most attentive, most... whatever you want to call him out of the 4 teams in the bottom.
No, Steve's definitely the most attentive.
I think Dylan's just bored until the playoffs. I think you're going to see Dylan kind of turn a switch on in the playoffs and then turn it off.
Yeah,
he cares about this shit.
For sure.
It doesn't show now, but
he'll be a
my gut's going to tell me that he's going to turn it on for the playoffs, and then be all in for next year and want to destroy everybody all year and be boss. That's the way I see it going. And the way that, I mean, realistically, it's probably going to be him and Beer at the top next year, with probably you as I would probably put as the third guy.
Maybe. I might do some crazy trades early and go for it all.
I have a strategy next year where I'll probably end up, anytime anyone wants to make a trade, sure, give me the picks. Moving on. You want this guy for a pick? Trade? Okay, I'll pick somebody else off waivers. This guy? Okay, pick somebody else off waivers. I'll probably just do that all year, trying to get as many pick upgrades as possible, even if it's just 1 round here, 2 rounds there, 1 round here, 2 rounds there. If I can get to the end of the season, be close to playoffs, and also do that, I'll be happy.
Yeah.
I'll be happy. But so that would mean in the second round, you have what? Dylan versus Ben?
Yeah,
Dylan
for championship.
So I think Dylan's got the consolation.
Yeah,
as the early favorite.
Him, yeah. It's kind of funny. 9 and 10, I have them as the better.
Yeah. So that would be, I mean, it'll be interesting because I think Joey will win his final matchup as long as it's not against Dylan. So I think Dylan and Joey will be 1-3. And I think Steve, Ben will be 2-4.
Again, I would give the edge to Steve against Joey until Joey shows me otherwise.
Yeah, that's true.
Because if he, for whatever reason, I'm assuming he's going to, for the playoffs, pick up a goalie. Come on, Joey.
I hope so. If he doesn't, then we got to have a serious conversation. But, yeah, so I mean, in the regular season, so what would that mean? That would mean Beer would play if I get through and you get through.
I'd play Beer. You'd play Nick. Which is what I wanted. That's why I tried so hard to beat Nick. I would rather play Beer.
I'd rather play Nick than Sean.
You do? Sean's the only team I haven't beat this season, so that's my chance.
I think I've beaten everybody once, or at least once.
It took me 3 tries to beat Nick, but I did get it in.
I'm 2-0 on Nick, which is pretty good considering that the rest of the time he only has 3. He's 3-1 in terms of loss and tie. 2 of his 5 losses are to me.
Yeah.
But I mean, like I said, Vasilevsky, Binnington versus Price Rask. I gotta think I got wins. I gotta think I got saves. Shutouts will probably end up in a tie unless somebody flukes into one.
Yeah.
And then the peripherals, I gotta think I take that based on depending pre flex options or streamer, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
And then when we meet in the finals, I'll whoop your ass and it'll all be done. What?
If I win, it will be based on goaltending. If I lose, it'll be based on goaltending. My goaltending is what's going to be my thing.
I think it's a big thing for everybody because it's a lot of categories for.
Yeah. I like my team. I think that my last few trades actually were really good trades. Like the Vasilevsky and the Tkachuk trades, I thought were really good trades.
Hey, I'm happy. I basically have what I drafted plus 1 draft pick somehow of rounds. Plus, I picked up a Hoffman along the way. So
I have like 3 players that I originally drafted.
Oh my! If I didn't have injuries, I'd win. If I don't have Stamkos and Gensel.
Yeah, actually, I only have 3 guys left. My first pick, McKinnon. My third pick, Draisaitl. My 4th pick, Laine. That's all I have left on my team.
Who was your second pick?
Carlson.
Ooh.
And I dropped him. And then 5th was Price, who I traded. 6th was Holtby, who I traded. 7th was Subban, who I traded. 8th was Point, who I traded. 9th was Doughty, who I traded. 10th was Pastretti, who I traded. 11th was Wilson, who I dropped. 12th was Galchenyuk, who I dropped. 13 was Ekblad, who I traded. And 14 was Van Riemsdyk, who I dropped.
Good shit. Mine are mostly drops. Normally when you're saying traded, and I would say dropped on mine.
Yeah, you got Kane. You got traded Kane. Kept Stamkos. Kept Eichel. Kept Aho. IR stash Gensel. Do you still have Krug? We dropped Krug.
No, I got him.
You still have Krug? Stashed Besser. You dropped Grubauer, right?
Yeah.
You drafted Meyer and then dropped him later. Thank you. Dropped Theodore. No, you still have Shen. Dropped Atkinson. Dropped Markstrom and then picked him up, I think. Didn't you?
Dropped him. I might have picked him up. No, I think I dropped him. Dylan took him right
Oh,
away.
Dylan has him, right. Yeah, I know, yeah. And then Petrie.
Who I dropped.
I don't think anybody's... Oh.
I only traded my first overall pick. Or my first round pick.
There's only four players who were taken in the 14th round and are still rostered. Do you know who they are?
Four?
Sorry, three.
Svechnikov or whatever.
Yeah.
Trouba.
Yeah.
Pacioretty.
Pacioretty was earlier. He was
sure?
a 10th. Their 12th rounder.
Okay, he's a 12th. 14th, is it Hoff? No. Hoffman? No.
Rangers.
Another Ranger? I said Trouba.
I know. It's not true.
It's another Ranger.
It's forward.
Kreider?
Yeah.
He was drafted in the 14th, eh?
Yeah. I considered actually going and acquiring Kreider because of the hits. But then I realized he doesn't shoot that much.
Svechnikov was the only one that was never dropped. Or I don't think Trouba was ever dropped. He was just traded 4 or 5
traded
times.
A bunch. Yeah. He was used and abused. I looked at there was a few trades I talked to Joey about before I rounded my team out and Larkin came. Like, Larkin's not the best, but he was a decent option. But I talked to him about Trouba and Weber, and I just didn't want to acquire a defenseman. I did briefly ask about Scheifele, but then he didn't respond, and I didn't go back a second time. And asked about Forsberg.
I asked about Fleury, too.
Yeah, he said he wasn't going to. I tried to get Bishop off of Jesse when he first came in, being like, hey, if you're going to trade him, like, imagine having Vasilevsky Bishop. And then I tried to get Fleury as my second option because I wanted Vasilevsky Fleury. And then I was like, well, if I can't have Fleury or Bishop and Nick's not moving Rask, who is my next best option? I'm like, it's probably Bennington. So not going to.
Probably stuck with it, yeah.
Yeah.
Could have got Hart.
I'll take Bennington over Hart. Hart might have slightly better peripherals, and he doesn't necessarily have the platoon scare that Allen for Elliott would be, but nonetheless.
Yeah, for sure.
Should be pretty exciting to catch up in a week and see what's happened.
It will be for sure.
I'm going to have to prepare myself for heartbreak because there's always something that derails my season for no fucking reason, so...
I don't know what it's like. I haven't lost in the playoffs in 2 years, so I don't know.
Have you been in the playoffs?
I won my pool last year.
It's like, I haven't lost in the playoffs in 10 years, man. Have you ever been in the playoffs? No, I just haven't lost in them.
Yeah. All right, let's call it.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
It's fucking midnight.
Have a good night, man. Take care.
Yeah, I'll talk to you later.